When did jobs become our identity? Let's talk about that. Hello and welcome to Queendom TV. Today I'm going to be discussing when did jobs become our identity. Now this is something that I've thought about myself quite a lot because a lot of the time I've realized, for example, when you first meet somebody, hi, how are you? Oh, nice to meet you. What do you do? That's like the first thing people ask you. It's almost like, I'm trying to place you in the world. I'm trying to identify you. What do you do? And then that usually kind of leads on to, oh, you're in science. Oh, wow, you must be really intelligent. Oh, you're creative. Oh, wow, that's cool. I mean, I'm not very creative. Whatever it is. And you're already starting to get pigeonholed. And I realized, I've always thought about the fact that people really find identity in their job. And I think when this whole situation happened, or that the situation that we're still in, we all know the situation we're in, the worldwide situation, pandemonium. When this all took place, I remember the first thing I noticed at the beginning was how many people were in a bad mental health state as a result of the fact that their job/career was not going the way that they wanted for it to. And that made me realize, as a result of everything, and people were losing jobs, and it made me realize how much more of an issue it was than what I was even thinking, and how much more people attach their identity to their job. First things first, your identity is not in your job. At the end of the day, we have to make money, right? We have to make money to live. And the reason why I think this is so important to talk about, I think, is because for one of the reasons why I think it's so important to talk about is because when we obsess over our job representing us, then we close ourselves off from opportunities that could be the best for us. Now, an example of this would be, I'll give an example from my own life. Kind of. When I was younger, my very first job was in McDonald's, right? And maybe one day if people want to hear like a story time about that, I might do that one day if that's something that ever comes up. I would love to talk about all the different jobs I've had because I've had craziness go on at all my jobs. But anyway, I worked at McDonald's when I was 16. It was my first job. And a lot of people, they would never, they at the time they were like, oh, they don't want to work. I'm working at McDonald's. It's like McDonald's. And it's like, yeah, but I'm making money though. Like, I'm making money. A lot of these people who are not saying anything to me were not making money. And I was paying for the things that I wanted to pay for. Like, I wanted to be able to pay for dance, pay for the gym. I think I was paying only one of those. I'm paying for, I think, dance. I'm not sure. I was paying for dance. I wanted to pay to go to take dance classes because that was important to me. And, we couldn't afford, my family couldn't afford to pay that for me, which is why I had the job in the first place. I wanted to be able to, if I need clothes, buy some clothes. If I want to contribute in the house. If I wanted to buy trainers, which was my thing, I would buy myself like 1 or 2 pairs of trainers a month. And I'd find on a really good deal, trainers that I really like because I was a big sneakerhead like that. Although early adult life is not really very conducive for that just yet. But we'll come back to that at some point. But anyway, a lot of people judged me for having that job. And I was literally making like £3 like 40 an hour, if that. Like, I was making literally peanuts. But the thing is, the reason why people were saying that is because they were attaching the job. They were making the job be like my identity. When in reality, if you are not having money, you better take whatever job you can get. And people don't want to do that because of job being their identity. And so they don't want to be seen as that. Like, for me, I didn't feel limited by that. I don't feel limited by that to this day because I've done so many things that have so many doors have opened as a result of me making that decision at that time that my identity is vastly crazy different to that now. You know what I mean? I've worked as a creative director, a producer, a director, just a director on its own, a choreographer. I've done teaching of basically all ages, all the way from like childhood all the way up to full-blown adulthood. I've done consultancy, I've done event planning, I've done so many different jobs. And so it's like, that McDonald's that I didn't mean anything. But that's what happens today is people attach their job so much to their identity. A lot of the time, I feel like it stops people from being productive in the way that's best for them. And a lot of the jobs out there, like, for example, you could work somewhere and it might sound nice. Let's say you work in, I don't know. Perfect example. This could be like a situation. Yeah, if you could work somewhere and it could sound nice. You could be working on a nice office in a small tech company, marketing company, let's say. And maybe let's say you're a junior marketing consultant. And you could be making like £18,000 a year. Because this is what happens a lot of the time. A lot of the time, the titles don't reflect the pay. But then alternatively, maybe you could be working construction and be making £25,000 a year. Which one is really better off in the long run? Do you know what I mean? But people would rather do junior marketing consultant because it sounds nice. And it sounds like when people ask you, oh, so what do you do? Oh, I'm a junior marketing consultant. Oh, that sounds amazing. But in reality, you could do a lot better and you'd move a lot further in your life with that extra 7,000 on top. I did say 25,000, didn't I? Anyway, that extra did I say? With that extra 7,000 on top, sorry guys. With that extra 7,000 on top, like you would do a lot better. Do you know what I mean? In life. And you'd probably be able to get yourself out of a position where you could even maybe top being a junior marketing consultant. And so I think that's one reason why I think people shouldn't find their identity in a job. But also, I think it's very detrimental. And I think it's part of, I've talked a lot on my channel about like, the modern day slavery system and how in today, we are in a system of slavery where we are just working so we work paycheck to paycheck, day to day, and that's how it works, right? And I think this is a part of it because if you can find your identity in your job and your job is what you base your identity on, it's even easier to keep you in that bubble and not be thinking about the other things that you can achieve outside of that, if you know what I mean. And because you're wanting, and bearing in mind that all of these types of job roles, these are all the types of job roles that people on top, rich people, the top 1%, they need you to be taking those job roles because those are job roles in their companies. So you're doing the work and they're making the money. So they want you to be a junior marketing consultant on only £18,000 a year. And they don't want you to think about the fact that maybe you could be making more in construction. Because if you're obsessed with having that title and your identity being behind that title, then you're going to keep climbing until you can kind of prove yourself. And I kind of feel like it's almost like another form of having like a lack of self-value and self-worth, because it's like you should be so much more than your job. Like your job shouldn't matter. You should feel fully accomplished in who you are as a person, and you should feel fully valuable who you are as a person, regardless of whatever your job role is. And I think that's why it's very toxic nowadays that this whole job thing has become people's identity. And I was watching something I think yesterday, and they were saying about how there was a time when people didn't look at people's jobs because whatever you did to make money was just what you did to make money. Like people didn't care because they know that, oh, you're doing that. Oh yeah, okay, cool. Because you got to make money, you got to make a living, you got a family, whatever. Like it wasn't a big deal. This whole thing about like our identity being so heavily attached to our job is something that's happened over time, and I think it's happened on purpose over time for the reasons that I just gave. Because if you weren't finding your identity in your job, first of all, you may not even work the jobs that you do work because you look at things in a more logistical way and go, actually, I can make more money doing this, and I'm going to do that instead, which a lot of the time isn't going to favor a lot of the big companies that need hundreds or even thousands of employees who want to be obsessed with their title and give everything. Because that's the other thing. If you find your identity in a title, you will give everything of your life to that job and to that title. And I've realized that this is an issue I've had in jobs, because for me in jobs, I'll do a job. I have a plethora of reasons why I might take a job. I might do a job because I want to make money. That's why I've had so many different jobs. Some jobs I've done because I want to make money. Some jobs I've done because I want to gain experience in a particular field. Some jobs I do because I want to be able to say that I've done that job because it's going to give me credibility in the other things that I want to do. There's a whole bunch. Some jobs I've taken because I want to be able to network in that area. Some jobs I've taken because there are career boosting opportunities, training, and all that kind of thing. So there are so many reasons why I could take a job. And because I have because I have that kind of disposition, I feel like a lot of the times with employers, they find somebody like me to be not like how they want, where they want me to want to die for the company. You should not want to die for someone's company. You should be happy, go and do your work, do exactly what you're supposed to do your work to the best of your ability. 100%, I believe that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say slack off. But that is not your dream. That is not your baby to be throwing your whole life into and being obsessed over, but that's what they want you to do, because then you're just going to do a whole bunch of extra free work. You're going to look at this as your identity. You're going to kill yourself for that job. You're going to feel like, oh, I need to stay because so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, and you're just paying for somebody else's dream. And that's why I think actually having your job as your identity is very toxic for you, because you don't have that separation where you go, right, this is as far as my job description goes. I think some of you need to go look through your job description again. Go look through your job description again, because I think this whole job identity thing is something that's really causing a lot of people a lot of heartache also. A lot of people are just in a job role because it sounds nice, and, because they're so obsessed, because identity is so attached to job, like I said, you're not even opening your mind to think about what other things you can do. And not all the things are embarrassing. Maybe they're not as easy or comfortable, because jobs, they try to make them comfortable. you know, oh, don't worry, you know, and even the way the world works, like you need to have a normal job so that you can, if you want to move house, you need 3 months pay slips if you want to do this. So, you know, there's so many things about having a job. You know, they do pension schemes, which I think are another scam, and all this stuff. But, you know, at the end of the day, your identity is not found in a job. And I think what happened with this whole pandemonium, as I'm calling it, I think you highlighted that you cannot trust in a job and you cannot find your identity in a job, because then if you all of a sudden lose your job, God forbid, I don't want anybody to have to lose their job, unless it will benefit you, then once that job is taken away, so is your identity, and then you're just lost. And I think that's why there's a lot of lost people now. A lot of people are not sure what they want to do with their careers now. A lot of people are not sure what track to go down, and that's because a lot of what we've been indoctrinated with, even in school, is that you get a job, you get a good job, and that good job basically becomes your identity, you know. But anyways, please tell me in the comments what you think. I don't want to hop on and on and on about this. Tell me know in the comments what you think. Please also subscribe if you're enjoying my content. I really, really appreciate that so much. And like the video if you have liked it. Other than that, check out all my other videos. I've got a whole bunch of different stuff on this channel and a whole bunch more to come. So if you want to be a part of the vibe and if you want to join the tribe, subscribe. And that was off the top of my head. God bless you. Bye.